Have you ever wondered why a woman who seems so confident can suddenly crumble from a single careless word or a moment of doubt? Beneath the surface of that poised exterior, many women harbor an invisible need for emotional certainty that can shape everything they feel, say, and do. This silent weakness isn't about weakness at all. It's a powerful truth about how the human heart seeks safety. When a woman loves deeply, her mind often demands constant reassurance that what she feels is real, that the person she trusts won't vanish, and that the connection she treasures won't be shattered without warning. This emotional craving can feel overwhelming, even to her, but it's rooted in the simple, universal longing to be seen, to be chosen, to be held in a space where she never has to second-guess her worth. Many men overlook this hidden vulnerability, assuming that outward confidence equals inner certainty. They pull back at the first sign of her anxiety, thinking it's neediness or irrationality, not realizing it's a plea for connection and stability. When her mind spins with doubts, it's because she cares so much that losing the relationship terrifies her. Emotional certainty isn't about her being dramatic. It's a biological need to know she's safe, where she's placed her heart. When you learn to recognize this hidden layer, you unlock a power to soothe her storms before they start. You become the calm she can anchor to, the voice that quiets the noise in her head, the steady presence that tells her she doesn't have to fight for your attention. Every moment you show her she's valued builds trust, and every careless withdrawal chips away at it. Emotional certainty is the difference between a woman who blooms with joy and one who lives on edge, bracing for heartbreak. If you crave a relationship that's deep, passionate, and lasting, you must offer the unwavering presence she longs for. This isn't about constant grand gestures. It's about small, consistent signals. Your tone, your words, your reliability. When you show up fully, you give her heart permission to relax, to love without defense, to share her truth without fear. And that's when you'll see her true beauty unfold, because a woman secure in her emotions radiates warmth, confidence, and loyalty. Stay with me, because as you learn these hidden truths, you'll gain the keys to a relationship most men only dream about. You'll discover how to transform silent doubts into unshakable devotion, and how to make her feel so safe with you that she stops questioning your love. By understanding this hidden weakness and choosing to be the man who offers certainty, you'll never again lose her to fear. You'll become the rare partner who knows how to build a bond so powerful it withstands any storm. Have you ever noticed the silent panic in her eyes when someone younger or seemingly more attractive walks into the room? Beneath her carefully crafted confidence lies a fear that time will strip her of the beauty she's been taught to believe is her greatest asset. This fear doesn't mean she's shallow. It means she's human, living in a world that glorifies youth and punishes age. The terror of losing physical appeal can eat away at even the strongest woman, making her question if she will still be loved when the first lines appear or when her body changes with time. These thoughts haunt her, even if she never speaks them aloud. Each glance in the mirror can turn into a private battle between self-acceptance and society's cruel standards. Understanding this hidden wound gives you the chance to be a healer instead of someone who deepens the cut. When you show her that your admiration goes beyond her appearance, that it's her soul, laughter, and kindness that captivate you, you become the safe place she desperately needs. Remind her that beauty isn't frozen in a moment of youth, but grows with every experience, every lesson, every triumph over pain. Let her know she doesn't have to compete with illusions on a screen or photoshopped fantasies, because your heart recognizes her as irreplaceable exactly as she is. Each time you offer a genuine compliment about her mind, her humor, or the warmth she brings into your life, you counteract the silent poison of her fear. Every word you speak with sincerity builds a foundation of love that no wrinkle or gray hair could ever destroy. When you love her beyond the surface, you teach her to love herself deeper, and together you create a space where time becomes a gift, not a curse. She will stop shrinking away from the mirror and start seeing the beauty in her journey, knowing you cherish her evolving self. This bond becomes unbreakable because it's no longer based on fleeting appearances, but on a connection that grows stronger with every shared sunrise and every challenge faced side by side. Choose to celebrate her essence daily, and she will never feel the terror of being discarded as the years pass. Instead, she will trust that your love matures with her, that your desire deepens, and that your admiration transcends what eyes alone can see. This is how you build a relationship where both of you grow fearless of time's passing, where love expands instead of fades, and where she will never doubt for a second that she remains and will always be the most beautiful part of your life. Have you ever wondered why she sometimes lies awake replaying conversations, worrying about every word, every silence, every look you gave her? Deep inside, many women struggle with overthinking, an exhausting cycle where their minds become prisons of doubt and anxiety. This isn't a flaw in her character. It's a defense mechanism born from a world that often forces her to anticipate danger, criticism, or betrayal. Overthinking gives her a temporary illusion of control, but it drains her energy, steals her joy, and builds walls in her heart. She might seem distant or cold when, in reality, she's drowning in a storm of what-ifs. She fears being too much, not enough, saying the wrong thing, or missing signs that you're losing interest. Her mind loops because she wants to protect the connection she cherishes. When you recognize this hidden struggle, you can become the lighthouse in her mental fog. Instead of telling her to stop overthinking, show her she has nothing to fear. Speak with clarity, mean what you say, and follow through with your promises. When your words and actions align consistently, you break the spell of her spiraling thoughts and give her a solid ground to stand on. Reassure her with simple, honest communication that leaves no space for doubts to grow. Your transparency becomes her peace. Let her know she doesn't have to earn your love every day by overanalyzing every interaction. Show her that your commitment isn't fragile or conditional. Remind her that her presence alone is enough to keep your heart close. The more you demonstrate understanding and patience, the more her mind will learn to rest, and the more she will trust you with the deepest parts of herself. When you love her through the chaos in her mind, you help her silence the voices that tell her she's unworthy, unlovable, or on the verge of losing everything. You help her see that true love doesn't demand constant proof or perfection. It thrives in the comfort of mutual understanding. As her overthinking fades, you'll witness her come alive with a relaxed confidence, radiating warmth and passion without fear of missteps. The bond you build through patience and consistent reassurance will stand unshaken because it's rooted in the freedom you've given her to breathe without judgment. This is where love transforms from something fragile and fleeting into something powerful and enduring, where both of you can finally rest in the certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be, together, in a connection deeper than words and stronger than any storm her mind could ever create. Have you ever felt the weight of her silence when plans fall through or your words seem inconsistent? That quiet distance isn't indifference, it's a sign of her deep craving for unwavering security. Every time you show uncertainty or inconsistency, it can trigger hidden fears rooted in experiences where trust was broken or promises were empty. She doesn't need perfection, but she does need to feel that you are steady, that your intentions don't shift with your moods, and that your commitment isn't conditional on convenience. Stability is the foundation on which she can build her dreams, let her guard down, and offer you the most vulnerable parts of her soul. Without it, every interaction becomes a test, every promise an opportunity for disappointment, and every disagreement a potential sign of abandonment. When you show up reliably, you don't just prove your love. You heal old wounds that taught her love comes and goes without warning. You become the safe place where she can exhale, the constant she can count on when the world feels chaotic. Each time you follow through on your word, no matter how small the promise, you stitch together her faith in you, thread by thread, until it becomes unbreakable. Your consistency teaches her that she no longer has to brace for the heartbreak of a sudden exit or the slow erosion of attention. She will begin to relax into the relationship, opening herself fully to the joy of shared moments, unafraid that they're temporary illusions. Stability doesn't mean you never disagree or face challenges. It means you don't run when things get hard. It means you stand firm in your devotion, choosing patience and compassion over withdrawal or emotional games. She needs to know that her love isn't met with uncertainty or passive neglect, but with the same intensity and commitment she pours into you. The more she sees that your words are backed by unwavering action, the more her fears will dissolve, replaced by a profound trust that sets your connection apart from anything she's ever known. When you embody stability, you empower her to bloom into her most radiant self, because she's no longer wasting energy scanning for signs of betrayal or waiting for the ground to fall from under her feet. Instead, she can focus on building a life with you that's rich in passion, peace, and mutual growth. This is how you transform love from something fragile and fleeting into a lasting force that weathers every storm and shines brighter with every year. By offering unwavering security, you don't just keep her heart, you inspire it to love you more fiercely, freely, and fearlessly than you ever thought possible. Have you ever looked into her eyes and seen a quiet strength that seems untouchable, only to realize later that it was a mask crafted to protect a heart longing for connection? Many women wear independence like armor, believing it's the only way to avoid disappointment or heartbreak. They have been taught that needing someone makes them weak, so they build walls disguised as self-sufficiency, convincing even themselves that they don't crave support. But beneath that powerful exterior often lies a silent plea for reassurance that they are not alone in carrying life's burdens. This mask doesn't mean she wants to push you away. It means she's been hurt before and now guards her heart with fierce determination. Understanding this hidden conflict is your chance to become the partner who sees past her defenses and reminds her that true strength includes allowing someone else to stand beside her. When you show her that leaning on you doesn't diminish her independence but enriches it, you give her permission to let her walls fall. You prove that being vulnerable with you is safe, that her heart won't be used against her, and that her needs won't be met with judgment or abandonment. She will discover that love doesn't demand she sacrifices her autonomy. It thrives when two strong individuals choose to support each other through every triumph and every challenge. When you consistently affirm her value beyond what she can do alone, she learns that partnership isn't a weakness, but a source of profound power. She will start to share more of her inner world, invite you into the dreams and fears she once kept locked away, and open her heart fully to you without fearing that dependence means losing herself. This is where intimacy deepens and trust becomes unshakable. Every moment you stand firm, every time you show up without being asked, every word that reminds her she can count on you chips away at the lie that she must face the world alone. When you respect her independence while offering unwavering support, you build a love that is both freeing and secure, a bond where she never has to pretend she doesn't need comfort or reassurance. You create a space where her soul can rest without apology, where she can celebrate her achievements without worrying that vulnerability will cost her dignity. This transforms your connection from a surface-level romance into a partnership defined by unbreakable loyalty and unspoken understanding. By seeing through the mask of independence, you unlock the door to a deeper, richer love, one where she feels fully accepted, truly seen, and infinitely cherished for both her strength and her softness. Have you ever sensed her sudden shift in mood after scrolling through social media or hearing about someone else's success, even when she tries to hide it behind a smile? Many women carry a secret burden of constantly measuring themselves against others, silently wondering if they are beautiful enough, successful enough, or loved enough. This vulnerability grows in a culture that glorifies comparison, turning every magazine post or casual conversation into a subtle reminder of perceived shortcomings. Even the most confident woman can feel her worth slip through her fingers when faced with endless images of curated perfection. The comparisons she makes are not signs of envy or weakness. They are symptoms of a society that has conditioned her to believe she must compete to be worthy. When you recognize this hidden sensitivity, you have the power to help her break free from the mental prison of comparison. Remind her daily that she is irreplaceable, not because she outshines someone else, but because her unique spirit and the love you share cannot be replicated. Let her know that your admiration for her doesn't fluctuate with trends or others' opinions. It grows stronger with every moment you spend together, every challenge you overcome, and every part of herself she reveals to you. When you choose to celebrate her individuality instead of feeding into silent insecurities, you create an unshakable foundation of self-assurance that protects your relationship from the corrosive effects of jealousy and doubt. She will start to see herself through your eyes, recognizing her own beauty, intelligence, and worth, without the distorted lens of comparison. You give her space to redefine success, beauty, and happiness by her own standards, not someone else's highlight reel. With every genuine affirmation, you teach her that love isn't a competition, and connection isn't measured by someone else's achievements or appearance. She will discover the freedom to support others without feeling diminished herself, to celebrate her own growth without fearing she's falling behind, and to walk through life with confidence anchored in her true self. By helping her silence the voice that says she's not enough compared to anyone else, you gift her the peace to thrive authentically and love you without the fear that you'll leave for someone who seems better. This is how you build a relationship immune to the toxins of comparison, one where gratitude replaces resentment, and where you both rise together instead of measuring your worth against strangers. By being the constant reminder that she is more than enough exactly as she is, You open the door to a love so secure it withstands any outside influence, giving her the courage to embrace her uniqueness and deepen her devotion to a bond that cannot be shaken. Have you ever sensed a quiet struggle in her eyes when she expresses what she wants, only for it to be followed by a wave of guilt she can't explain? Many women wrestle with a deep conflict between their natural desires and the shame that society has tied to them. From a young age, they are taught that longing for love, craving attention, or embracing pleasure is something to hide or downplay. This internal battle forces them to question if wanting more affection or expressing their needs makes them demanding, needy, or unworthy. The truth is that these desires are not flaws. They are reflections of a vibrant, feeling soul that yearns for connection and fulfillment. When you see her hesitate to share what she truly wants, remember it's not because she's indecisive, but because she fears judgment, rejection, or ridicule. This silent war leaves her torn between speaking her heart and staying silent to avoid the risk of being misunderstood or dismissed. Your ability to recognize and validate her desires can change everything. When you invite her to share what she wants without fear of criticism, you free her from the chains of guilt that have weighed her down. You show her that her needs matter, that they are worthy of respect, and that loving her means embracing every part of her, including the parts she's been told to suppress. When you listen with patience and respond with acceptance, you teach her that love doesn't demand self-denial or the shrinking of her spirit. Instead, it flourishes when both partners feel safe enough to reveal their deepest truths. She will begin to trust you with her most vulnerable hopes and rawest longings, knowing that you won't use them against her or belittle her for wanting what brings her joy. As she grows more confident in expressing her desires, your relationship transforms into a space of open communication and shared fulfillment, where both of you feel seen, heard, and satisfied on every level. When you make her feel that her happiness is just as important as your own, you cultivate a powerful partnership built on mutual respect and unwavering support. The love you share becomes richer, more passionate, and more resilient because it's grounded in the freedom to be fully, unapologetically yourselves. Choosing to honor her desires without conditions shows her she no longer needs to sacrifice her authenticity to keep the peace or maintain your interest. This is how you inspire her to step boldly into her true self, how you build a bond that grows deeper with every conversation, and how you create a love so extraordinary that becomes the standard by which she will measure every experience for the rest of her life. Have you ever witnessed the subtle strain on her face when she tries to balance every demand, striving to meet impossible expectations without letting anyone see how close she is to breaking? Beneath her determined efforts often lies a heavy burden of perfectionism, a silent enemy convincing her that anything less than flawless makes her unworthy of love or respect. This pressure grows with every critical comment, every unrealistic standard, and every internalized belief that mistakes define her value. She may spend countless hours agonizing over small details, terrified that a misstep will reveal her as inadequate. This constant chase for perfection robs her of peace, trapping her in a cycle of fear and self-doubt. Your understanding of this hidden struggle can be the key to helping her escape. When you show her that your love is not conditional on her performance or the flawless execution of every task, you offer a powerful antidote to the poison of perfectionism. Remind her through your actions and words that you cherish her for who she is, not what she produces or how close she comes to an unattainable ideal. Celebrate her efforts without insisting on results, and praise her courage in simply showing up each day despite the weight she carries. By creating an environment where imperfection is met with compassion instead of criticism, you teach her that mistakes are part of growth, not proof of failure. She will begin to release the crushing need to control every outcome, discovering the freedom to learn, explore, and express herself without fearing that one wrong move will cost her your love or respect. Your patience and consistent affirmation can break the cycle of self-judgment, replacing it with a growing sense of confidence and peace. As she starts to believe that she is enough just as she is, the anxiety that once kept her awake at night will begin to fade. She will laugh more easily, dream more boldly, and love more deeply, because she knows that she is safe to be real with you. This is where intimacy flourishes, where trust becomes unshakable, and where passion grows effortlessly. When you stand beside her as a partner who sees her beauty beyond perfection, you build a foundation strong enough to withstand any storm life brings. You create a relationship that is not only resilient, but also vibrant, alive with the energy of two people fully committed to supporting each other's true selves. By freeing her from the need to be perfect, you unlock a version of her that is radiant with authenticity and overflowing with love. A love that will return to you tenfold in ways that transform your connection into the deepest, most fulfilling experience either of you has ever known. Have you ever felt the tension in the air when she suddenly grows quiet, her eyes darkening as if a storm is brewing beneath the surface? Many women have been taught that expressing anger will make them seem unreasonable or unlovable. So they swallow their frustrations until they simmer into silent resentment. This suppressed anger is not a sign of weakness or immaturity. It's the result of years of conditioning that told her her emotions are dangerous and must be hidden to keep peace. Each time she bites her tongue, each time she forces a smile, while her heart is heavy with unspoken hurt, the distance between you grows a little wider. Over time, this unexpressed pain can transform into bitterness, eroding trust and intimacy from within. Recognizing this hidden struggle is your opportunity to change the trajectory of your relationship. When you create a space where she feels safe to express her anger without fear of being dismissed or attacked, you offer a rare gift, the freedom to be completely honest. Listen to her frustrations with patience, even when they're uncomfortable to hear. Resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Instead, seek to understand what she's truly feeling beneath the surface of her words. When you validate her emotions, you show her that her feelings are not too much for you to handle, and that she is worthy of respect, even when she's upset. This simple act of acceptance allows her to release the weight she's been carrying, preventing resentment from taking root. As she learns that her anger doesn't scare you away, she will become more open and authentic, sharing not only her pain, but also her deepest hopes and joys. This honesty creates a powerful cycle of trust, where both of you feel confident that no matter what emotions arise, your love can withstand them. Conflict, instead of tearing you apart, becomes a path to greater understanding and closeness. By helping her feel heard in her anger, you transform what could become poison into fuel for growth. She will know that disagreements are not the end of your bond, but a chance to learn and strengthen it. The relationship you build in this space of acceptance will be unlike anything she has ever experienced. A partnership where emotions are welcomed instead of feared, where truth is spoken without hesitation, and where love deepens precisely because it endures every storm. This is how you inspire her to trust you with every part of herself, including the parts she once felt she had to hide, forging a connection so strong and honest that it becomes the safe harbor both of you seek when the world outside feels overwhelming. Have you ever noticed how her smile seems brighter when you remind her how much you appreciate her, yet how quickly that light fades when days pass without any words of reassurance? Deep within every woman's heart is a quiet need to feel chosen over and over again, to know that the love she gives is seen, valued, and reciprocated with intention. When life grows busy and moments of connection become scarce, her mind can slip into dark corners of doubt, wondering if your feelings have changed or if your eyes have begun to wander elsewhere. This need for emotional reassurance isn't a sign of weakness or insecurity. It's a reflection of her deep investment in you and a desire to protect the bond you've built. By understanding how powerful your words and actions are in shaping her sense of safety, you gain the ability to nurture her confidence and deepen your relationship beyond what you imagined possible. Consistent, heartfelt reminders of your love can quiet the fears that sometimes whisper she isn't enough or that your passion has faded. A simple message, a gentle touch, or a sincere compliment can mean more to her than grand gestures, because it's in these small moments that she feels seen and chosen without needing to ask. Each time you look into her eyes and tell her how much she means to you, you dismantle the silent walls that fear tries to build between you. You teach her that her heart is not a burden, but a treasure you hold close, and that her presence in your life is a privilege you cherish. When you proactively express appreciation and affection, you don't just ease her mind, you inspire her to love you with a freedom and intensity that only comes from feeling secure. Over time, this pattern of reassurance creates a profound sense of belonging, transforming your relationship into a refuge from the world's uncertainties. She will glow with the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she is loved deeply and consistently, allowing her to pour her heart into the relationship without reservation. The ripple effect of your reassurance will touch every aspect of your connection, bringing more laughter, intimacy, and unwavering trust. By choosing to meet her unspoken need for consistent affirmation, you prove that love isn't something that fades with time, but something that grows stronger each day you choose her anew. This commitment to keeping her heart safe will not only keep her by your side, but also inspire a devotion so fierce and enduring that it becomes the unshakable foundation of a love story neither of you will ever doubt or forget. Have you ever felt the subtle waves of sadness ripple through her words when she wonders aloud if she is truly enough for you, even after everything you've shared? Deep beneath her moments of joy and confidence often lingers a hidden anxiety that she might fall short of what you desire, that some unspoken standard exists she can never quite reach. This silent fear is not born from a lack of love or effort on her part, but from a lifelong barrage of messages that told her her worth is conditional on perfection, appearance, or flawless behavior. These doubts can creep into even the strongest relationships, causing her to question every silence, every delay in your replies, every moment you seem distant. Your understanding of this invisible battle gives you the extraordinary power to replace her quiet insecurity with an unwavering sense of being deeply and wholly accepted. Every time you speak words of genuine admiration, every time you show gratitude for who she is instead of what she does, you chip away at the fear that she is somehow not enough. By consistently affirming that her presence alone is what you treasure most, you offer a powerful shield against the inner voices that whisper she is unlovable or inadequate. The more you show her through actions and words that your love doesn't depend on her measuring up to impossible standards, the more she will learn to quiet those doubts and stand in her true worth. As her fear of not being enough fades, you will see her begin to shine with a new light, one that radiates peace, self-assurance, and a joy that can only come from knowing she is valued beyond question. She will trust you more deeply, open herself more freely, and love you more fiercely, because you have given her the freedom to simply be without constantly striving to earn your affection. This kind of reassurance isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but the quiet consistency of making her feel seen, chosen, and secure every single day. The bond that grows from this space of acceptance will become the anchor both of you rely on during life's storms, a reminder that no challenge or doubt can shake what you have built together. By proving again and again that she is more than enough just as she is, you invite a level of trust and devotion that transforms love into something timeless, something so rare and unbreakable it becomes a sanctuary for both your hearts. This is how you move beyond ordinary connection, creating a partnership defined by certainty, depth, and a fierce loyalty that withstands every test because it is grounded in the undeniable truth that she is and always will be more than enough for you. Have you ever watched the light in her eyes dim after she spent hours worrying about everyone else, pouring her energy into caring for others until there's nothing left for herself? Many women carry the silent burden of feeling responsible for the happiness of those around them, believing they must be the caretaker, the problem solver, the emotional anchor no matter how heavy the load becomes. This deep-rooted drive to nurture often leads to emotional burnout, a quiet exhaustion that seeps into every part of her life, leaving her feeling unseen and alone even when surrounded by those she loves. Her instinct to give without limits is a beautiful gift, but it can become a prison when she starts believing that asking for help or setting boundaries makes her selfish or weak. Your ability to notice when she's nearing the edge of her strength is a powerful way to show her she doesn't have to bear the weight alone. By stepping in with compassion, offering support without her needing to ask, and encouraging her to rest, you teach her that true partnership means sharing the load, not watching one person break under it. Remind her through your actions that she is allowed to receive as much as she gives, that her needs matter just as much as everyone else's, and that you see her effort even when she tries to hide her fatigue behind a brave face. When you express gratitude for all the ways she loves and cares, you validate her sacrifices while also giving her permission to pause and refill her own cup. Over time, these moments of recognition and support will help her let go of the fear that stepping back means letting others down. She will learn that your love doesn't demand endless sacrifice, but thrives when you both nurture each other with kindness and patience. As she trusts you to share life's burdens, she will rediscover the joy and lightness she thought she had to sacrifice to keep everything together. The more you show up for her in these quiet, unseen moments, the deeper her love and loyalty will grow, because you have proven that you cherish not just what she gives, but who she is. This shared strength becomes the foundation for a relationship where both of you feel truly supported, where you celebrate each other's victories and face each challenge as a united team. By easing her silent exhaustion with your unwavering presence, you build a bond that goes beyond love and into a realm of partnership so rare and profound that it becomes a sanctuary from the world, a place where she can finally rest, knowing she is held, valued, and never alone. In her fight, have you ever caught the subtle flinch in her voice when she shares a big dream, as if bracing for you to dismiss it or tell her it's unrealistic? Many women carry unspoken fears of their ambitions, being minimized or ridiculed, a silent ache that grows from years of being told to stay small, stay quiet, or settle for less than what sets their hearts on fire. This hesitation is not a lack of passion or drive. It is a protective instinct built over time, a shield against the sting of indifference or mockery that can crush a fragile hope before it ever has a chance to bloom. When you see her eyes light up as she talks about what she longs to achieve, you hold the power to either nurture that spark or extinguish it with careless words. Choosing to believe in her dreams, to encourage her to reach higher than she thinks possible, creates a foundation of trust and inspiration that will strengthen your bond beyond measure. Remind her that her ambitions are not only valid but admirable, that you respect her courage to envision a life that reflects her deepest desires, and that you stand beside her with unwavering faith in her ability to succeed. When you actively support her growth, whether it's through your words, your time, or simply by celebrating each step forward, you teach her that your love doesn't fear her power or shrink in the face of her rising potential. You show her that partnership means pushing each other toward greatness, not holding one another back out of insecurity or fear of change. As she learns that you will never belittle her aspirations, she will trust you with her boldest goals, sharing ideas she once kept hidden because they felt too vulnerable to expose. This freedom to dream without limits transforms your relationship into a place of boundless possibility, where both of you are empowered to chase what sets your souls ablaze, knowing you will always have each other's unwavering support. Over time, this shared pursuit of growth and purpose will forge a bond stronger than any obstacle, because it is rooted in mutual respect and the fierce belief that love should never require one person to dim their light. By lifting her dreams instead of fearing them, you create a partnership where each success becomes a shared victory and each setback an opportunity to grow closer. This is how you build not just a relationship, but a legacy of love and achievement, where both of you rise together, unafraid, to claim the extraordinary life you were meant to create side by side, hand in hand, with hearts wide open to every possibility. Have you ever seen the hesitation in her eyes when she's about to disagree with you, as if she's weighing whether speaking her truth is worth the risk of upsetting the peace? Many women carry an unspoken fear that expressing their honest opinions will lead to conflict, rejection, or being labeled as difficult. This fear doesn't come from a lack of conviction or intelligence. It comes from experiences where their voices were dismissed, mocked, or met with anger, teaching them that silence is safer than honesty. Over time, this learned caution can create an invisible barrier between you, where she second-guesses her words or hides what she truly thinks to avoid disrupting harmony. When you show her that you welcome her perspective, that you value her thoughts even when they challenge your own, you begin to dismantle that barrier piece by piece. By listening without interrupting, seeking to understand before responding, and staying calm even when you disagree, you create a powerful sense of safety where she feels free to speak without fear. This safety doesn't just deepen communication. It ignites a level of trust and intimacy that can only exist when both partners are confident that honesty will not destroy love but strengthen it. As she realizes that disagreements are not threats but opportunities to grow together, she will share more of her inner world with you, bringing a richness and depth to your conversations that makes your bond unbreakable. Each time you show her through your actions that her voice matters, you affirm that love is not about one person winning or losing, but about understanding each other more fully. This dynamic fosters a relationship where both of you feel respected, where solutions come from collaboration instead of compromise forced by fear, and where mutual admiration replaces resentment. Over time, she will stop censoring herself, and you will experience the full brilliance of her mind and spirit, unfiltered and alive. The respect you build by embracing her honesty will ripple through every part of your relationship, infusing it with a strength that can weather misunderstandings and emerge even stronger. By proving that her truth doesn't threaten you but inspires you, You create a space where love grows with every conversation, every disagreement, every moment of raw, courageous communication. This is how you transform ordinary connection into extraordinary partnership, where two hearts beat in fearless sync, confident that they can handle any storm because they face it together, open and honest, forever committed to a love that honors every word, every feeling, and every truth spoken without hesitation. Have you ever felt the quiet vulnerability in her voice when she shares something deeply personal, something that reveals a hidden part of her past or a lingering wound she has carried alone for years? Many women hold on to old pain because they fear being judged, pitied, or seen as broken if they expose the scars of what they've endured. These memories can shape how she loves, trusts, and even sees herself, creating invisible walls that keep her from fully opening her heart. When you create a space where she feels safe to reveal those tender places, you offer her a priceless gift, the freedom to be completely known and accepted without conditions. Listening without flinching or rushing to fix her pain shows her that your love is strong enough to hold even the heaviest parts of her story. When you honor her courage for sharing rather than shrinking from her truth, you teach her that vulnerability is not something to hide, but something to celebrate. Each time you sit with her discomfort, instead of avoiding it, you build a foundation of trust deeper than any words could ever express. This trust becomes the cornerstone of a relationship where both of you can face the shadows of the past and heal together, stronger and more united with every step. Over time, as she sees that you don't see her as less for what she's been through, but as more because of the strength she has shown, she will let you into the places she once thought were too dark or painful to share. She will know in her bones that your love is not a fragile thing that disappears when faced with imperfection, but a resilient force that grows more powerful with every truth told. This kind of acceptance turns past pain from a source of division into a bridge that draws you closer, creating an unbreakable bond forged in mutual understanding and compassion. As you continue to hold space for her, without judgment or impatience, you become more than just a partner. You become a refuge, a safe harbor, where she can lay down the burdens she has carried alone for too long. This is how love transforms from something that merely soothes the surface into something that heals the deepest wounds. A love that reminds her she is not defined by what she has endured, but by the strength, beauty, and resilience that have carried her to this moment. By meeting her vulnerability with unwavering support, you build a relationship so powerful that it can withstand any storm, rooted in the unshakable truth that real love sees every flaw, every scar, every broken piece, and chooses to love more fiercely, not less, because of them. Have you ever noticed the subtle way her laughter dims when she senses you're distracted, as if she's searching for signs that your attention is drifting away from her? Many women carry a hidden fear of emotional abandonment, a deep-seated worry that the connection they cherish could slip through their fingers without warning. This fear isn't born of irrational insecurity. It's often shaped by past experiences where love was given inconsistently or withdrawn without explanation, leaving her to question what she did wrong or why she wasn't enough to keep someone's heart. Even when things seem calm on the surface, this fear can quietly linger beneath every silence, every delayed response, every moment when she feels unseen or unheard. Your willingness to be fully present can become a powerful remedy to this unspoken ache, reassuring her that your love is anchored, steady, and committed. When you give her your undivided attention, when you listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart, you show her that she matters more than the endless noise of the world. Small moments of presence, pausing what you're doing to meet her gaze, remembering the little things she says, or simply making her feel like the center of your world, can mean everything. Each of these moments whispers that you are here not just physically, but emotionally, choosing her over distraction, choosing connection over complacency. Over time, as she feels consistently prioritized and emotionally safe, the fear of being left behind begins to loosen its grip, replaced by a quiet confidence that your heart is fully invested in her. She will open up more, trust more deeply, and love more freely, knowing she doesn't have to fight for your attention or compete with the demands of your day. This kind of attentive love doesn't just soothe her hidden fears, it breathes new life into your relationship, creating a space where both of you feel seen, valued, and fully engaged. It builds a foundation of certainty and intimacy that cannot be shaken by the passing of time or the stresses of life. By proving with your consistent presence that she will never have to wonder if you're drifting away, you forge a bond so strong that it becomes a source of unshakable security for both of you. This unwavering commitment to being truly there for each other transforms love from a fleeting emotion into a lasting promise, a promise that says no. No matter how busy, tired, or distracted the world becomes, your heart will always return to her as its home, choosing her every single day without hesitation or doubt. Have you ever seen her eyes searching yours for reassurance when she reveals the things that make her feel embarrassed, ashamed, or unworthy? Many women carry silent fears of being rejected for their quirks, flaws, or the aspects of themselves they've been told are too much, too little, or simply wrong. These fears often come from years of criticism, moments when vulnerability was met with mockery or indifference, leaving scars that make it hard to trust someone enough to share the raw, unfiltered parts of themselves. When she hesitantly shows you these hidden pieces of who she is, it's not a test of your patience, but an act of profound courage, a plea to know if you can love her without conditions. The way you respond in those moments can either deepen her wounds or heal them completely. When you meet her vulnerability with acceptance, kindness, and gentle curiosity, you show her that love isn't about demanding perfection, but embracing reality with compassion. Every time you choose to lean in rather than pull away, you create a safe space where she can release the fear of judgment and step into a life of authenticity by your side. Over time, she will stop bracing for rejection and start believing in the security of your love, knowing it is stronger than any insecurity she once thought could drive you away. This unwavering acceptance allows her to laugh freely, share her dreams boldly, and express herself without filtering every word for fear of displeasing you. As she sheds the heavy armor of pretense, you will experience the full brilliance of her personality, the softness, the strength, the humor, the passion, all the vibrant colors of her soul she once thought she had to hide. By honoring every part of her, even the parts she struggles to accept herself, you teach her that true love doesn't just tolerate imperfections, but celebrates them as the very things that make her unique and irreplaceable. The trust you build by loving her exactly as she is will become the bedrock of a relationship that thrives in every season of life, a love that grows more powerful through every challenge because it's rooted in unwavering acceptance. This is the kind of devotion that creates unshakable bonds, bonds that withstand doubt, change, and time itself, because they are formed in the honest, open-hearted connection of two people who refuse to let fear dictate the depth of their love. By embracing her completely, you give her the priceless gift of freedom, the freedom to be fully herself without fear of losing you, the freedom to love you with her whole heart, and the freedom to believe that together you can create a relationship defined not by perfection, but by the extraordinary power of authentic, unconditional love.